Well, hi, it's Karen Sullivan here with lifehealthmore.net, and I am excited to be here. It's Monday. It's the last day of April, and it is the last day of our series for the month of April about exercise. We've been talking throughout the month about different parts, body parts. So we did chest and back. If you've not seen any of the other videos, you can catch them on Facebook. They should be at Life Health More, and you'll be able to see them. Or you can go to my YouTube channel at Karen Sullivan. You use my maiden name, Philly, F-I-L-I, if there's a little bit of a problem, finding the page. But I'm on there, and all the videos that I've been doing for the last, 4 or 5 years are on there. So the whole series talked about chest, back, arms, shoulders, legs, abs. We talked about frequency and intensity and duration, and we talked about the heart and lungs. Today, we're going to talk about different kinds of resistance exercises and how do you figure out what to do. Okay, so the point of my show and my channel and the work that I'm doing is that I am a personal trainer, and I like to take the scope of my work beyond my local gym and the folks that I work with on a coaching basis. I do one-on-one life coaching and help people with working with their programs, as far as I do nutritional counseling through my affiliate program with Shaklee. So I'm hoping that I can reach as many people as possible in 2018, because I feel that we should all love our lives and that we should become the best version of ourselves. And I've been saying that since January 1st, and I will continue to say it through 2018. It's always something that I've wanted to do. People are entitled to feel well, and when they don't, I'd like to help you fix it. And whether it's through chiropractic, medicine, nutrition, exercise, and even relaxation, I've done work with that. So why is it that I do it? Because it's my passion. I started in the 90s with doing personal training and working with a swim team in Virginia and helping those swimmers become faster and healthier swimmers. And then from there, I do everything from rehabilitation for people who have been had a stroke, suffering with a stroke, and working with that, as far as Parkinson's disease, MS, and any other kind of thing. My certifications include everything from working with TMJ to peripheral neuropathy. So you have an issue, you have a physiological issue, and I'll pick it up after the physical therapists work with you, and the insurance won't pay anymore. So that's what I do. And my site's lifehealthmore.net is a great opportunity to get free training. And then lifehealthmore.myshaklee.com will also give you the nutritional products that I may or may not mention in this program. So resistance exercise. It's also called weight training. It's also, people just refer to it as lifting. And it has to do with several ways you can do it. One is with machines. The other one is with dumbbells and barbells. So it's the free weight exercises. Then you have things that are body weight, exercises that are body weight, so that you're doing push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups. Sit-ups is not really too much of a resistance exercise, but squats, lunges, those sorts of things. And recent years have shown that HIIT training, high intensity interval training, or like we have here at the Recplex in St. Peter's, it's called the Dynamic Training Center. If you're ever out this way, you'll have to try it out. It is a phenomenal center that has, you name it, from flipping tires to TRX strapping and ropes, and you name it. It's all kinds of stuff. We're doing plyometrics and everything else there. So it's a great thing. And for people whose bodies are able to do that, it's magnificent. Always remember, well, I'll get to the warnings and everything from there. So let's talk about machines, using the machines. Machines, some of them are, especially the older kind, are, sort of a one size fits all. Even if you're a smaller person, then it's difficult for you to get in the position so that you're doing the exercise safely. If you're having to reach, or something is too tall for you to reach, then that's not such a great thing. So the biggest thing that you have to realize is that you need to make sure that the machine fits your body. If you're too short for something, I know that there's a machine that I've tried before that's for bicep curls, but I feel like it's too tall, and my body is not, the seat doesn't go up high enough for me, and I'm not long enough to get my arms up there. And so then everything sort of, I can feel it in the chest. Oh, it's tricep. I apologize. It's tricep, where you're pushing down the handles to work the triceps in the back of your arm. I just as soon go pick up a dumbbell. And if that happens where you are particularly petite and you can't sit comfortably in a machine, you feel like you're straining somewhere else, if it's for one body part and you're feeling it in another body part, like your neck or your shoulders, your joints in any way, then that's probably not the machine for you. So that's super important. Now, men really don't face that problem, because unless you're exceptionally broad and large, it won't be an issue. But I think it's more of an issue with women, and then also youth, whether it's men or women. Youth, sometimes the machine is more for an adult body. So those are things you need to make sure. And if you don't know whether it fits you, whether it's working well for you, you need to make sure that there's someone at the facility who can just check your form, look at you and see that it's doing okay, that you're not going to hurt yourself. Okay. The same thing with doing barbells and dumbbells. The summer is coming upon us, and we see more and more kids that are on break from school, and so instead of working out at the school gym, they come into this community center, and we'll start lifting. And it's always a scary thing, because their form is, sometimes it's really good and it's spot on and it's great, but what happens in an environment where your kids, where a whole group of kids are together, we're talking teens, usually the teens, not the kids that are in their 20s. By that point, they're mature enough and they understand form and have been lifting enough and gotten instruction initially. But sometimes what happens with the youth is that they get together and they're sort of challenging each other. So they end up lifting weights that are a little bit too heavy for them, or their form breaks because it is too heavy. And so they're trying to muscle their way through. So if you have young adults, be really cautious about who they're going to lift with, and make sure that they're not acting a little bit too competitive. Okay. So when we have the machines and the dumbbells, especially dumbbells and barbells, that's kind of a real risky thing. It can be very dangerous. Bench presses, nothing worse than getting stuck under a barbell. It's very dangerous and it hurts. My rule of thumb is that usually when I'm doing a large muscle, whether it's a machine or it's a free weight, my rule of thumb is that you want to do jumps in weight by 10 pounds with the larger muscle group. So with the chest, because that's a big muscle, you'll do a 10-pound jump from, let's say you're doing 50 pounds, you're going to go to 60 pounds. Okay. So the 10 pounds is good, but 10 pounds on a bicep or a shoulder is a little extreme. So I recommend 5-pound jumps on that. And the same thing goes for if you have any kind of an injury that you're nursing back and you're trying to get back to your weight that you were doing. Don't do the 10 pounds, whether it's your legs or your chest or your back or your squats and butts, and don't do the 10-pound jump as you would before your injury. So you have to be cautious, and you have to really recognize that the muscles in the bodies not only are going to lift the weight, but they got to get you through the day, every day. They have to have the stamina. They have to be healthy enough to be able to do the things that you want to do on a daily basis. Whether you are playing sports, whether your work involves a lot of physical labor, even so much as just standing. Standing is a very difficult thing to do, because in a job, I'm talking about standing and working like as a cashier in a grocery store. Whoa, talk about the impact on the body. And it's not just the muscles, but it's the joints. So be smart, okay? When you decide the weights that you're going to do and the kind of workout you're going to do, the other thing that you have to look at, as I said before when I was talking about duration and intensity, is that you want to make sure that you are reasonable in the number of sets and the number of repetitions that you're doing. There have been, through the years, I've seen people in gyms, and as a trainer, I'm in there and I watch people working, and it's not my business to say to them, you know, that's really not a good idea. But often it happens where I think it's just not a good idea what they're doing. Their form is bad, or they're doing too many reps. There was a school of thought that high repetitions, and we're talking 20 repetitions, can be really good for you. Well, I don't know where that ever came from, but in my humble opinion, I think doing 20 repetitions can be excessive, because you have the joints that get really stressed out. You have possibility for exhaustion and injury when you're more tired. You don't want to be so exhausted when you're lifting. While you're lifting, I mean, afterward, you want to feel like you really did a good workout, but don't get crazy. Really, be really reasonable about it. Okay, I start people 10 to 12 repetitions. The maximum that anybody ever does for me is 15 reps, and that's if they're trying to burn a little calories and they're wanting to do a circuit work where they get their heart rate up at the same time. So there's that to consider. Then when we talk about body weight, well, you can't really, well, you can. I was going to say you can't increase your weight, but you can. There are ways to do it where you wear vests that are weighted to do things, whether you're doing plyometrics and you're jumping and you have a vest and you add these little metal things in the pockets of the vest. And so, you know, I don't see any reason to put yourself through that, not the expense and not the risk of injury. Again, once you're injured, and recovering from an injury is worse than working out longer so that you get the same results that you got or would have gotten with the vest. The body weight is super for working out, because you can't abuse yourself too much unless you are totally over the top. But, you know, you work until you're tired. You do, you know, you want to have it be at the point, let's say if you're doing plyometrics and you want to do the number of repetitions that you need to do, that the last two that you do on anything, this is not just for the free weight, for the body weight stuff, but on anything, the last two repetitions that you do of any exercise should be where you have to sort of prepare your mind, take a deep breath and go, you can do this, you can do this. And then you do it without help, okay? Back in the day when I was doing powerlifting and bodybuilding, we pushed ourselves to that point, but to where somebody had to step in and assist through it. And that might be why I have so much trouble with my body now, where my shoulders are so bad, and my knees and my hips are bad, and my back, and from doing that and pushing it beyond. I don't know any old bodybuilders that out there that have aches and pains. Let me know in the comments here, and I'd like to invite you to comment all the time. I'd like to get feedback, and I want to have a conversation with you, because I can talk to you and answer your questions. When I do this show, it's all generalities. You know, it's just all kind of general across the board, trying to remember what I've dealt with through the years with customers. But please take the time to look at the other videos, and please write to me and let me know if you have your own questions. It will help my show. It will help you, and it's free. You don't have to pay me anything for that. Okay. So let's see, for the month of May. Oh, I was just working on my scripts and my plan. We're going to talk about food in the month of May. That'll be fun. We're having, let's see, we're going to, well, let's talk about food. And we're going to talk about, you know, the different kinds of foods and seasonal foods and barbecues. I'm going to share some recipes, but we're also going to try to understand about nutrients and the different kind of nutrients that there are, and see how we can decide, you know, the best way to eat. There is a way to do that other than having somebody tell you how to do it. The last thing in the world I want is for somebody to tell me how to eat, how to do this, how to do that. You know, I want to try to figure it out. That's not having to do with the form or your exercise, but really with diets. Oh, anyway, please join me for May, because we're going to talk about, it's called Your Perfect Food Plan, which is the title of my second book. And I'm going to share some of the things that I've learned through the years working with people about how to make up your mind, what you should be eating and what you shouldn't be eating, and understanding about the foods that you do eat. So I just got a little, she's on the floor. She's sleeping on her blanket over here, Laura. My dog, Aria, is taking a nap, and she's a very good girl. I took her for a walk and tired her out before I got done. So to start this anyway, so she's a good dog. Anyway, so hopefully you will find some information in here that helps you out, and you will join me for the month of May every Tuesday. And I keep saying that, every Monday and Thursday at 2 p.m. or watch it in rerun, watch it on YouTube. Please send your comments to me, because I like to have a conversation with you. Thanks a lot, and take care.